Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon, and today let's talk about what is the salary of an X-ray tech in 2024. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start off by going to a website called the BLS, or the Bureau of Labor Statistics, to kind of get an idea and see what they say is the average salary of an X-ray tech. All right, so looking through this website, I immediately see that average salary is $76,020 per year, which equates to $36.55 per hour. And taking into account, this is 2023 median pay. So because we're in 2024, they'll probably come out with those statistics this following year. But would I say that is accurate? Yes, and no. Uh, I do believe that the median pay, 76,000, is probably pretty accurate overall, but there's other considerations, of course, that you need to take into factor, such as where you live, how long you've been a tech, that sort of thing. So if you are living in California, a higher cost of living area, you will be making a lot more than $76,000 per year. If you are living in a state that has a much less lower cost of living, then you might be making less than that. If you are a new grad, you're probably going to be making less than this. If you are someone with 15, 20 years, you'll probably be making a lot more than this. So there are a lot of factors that kind of contribute to this. But at the same time, I would say median salary 76,000 is pretty accurate. And while we're here, I want you guys to take a look at the job outlook expectations for the next 10 years as well. The radiology profession is expected to grow at a rate of 6%, which is faster than average. Would I say that's correct or accurate? Yes, definitely. I would say it's probably going to grow even faster than that because there is just such a shortage of radiology techs right now. So what does that mean for you? If you are looking to get into radiology, now is the time to do it. Okay, so now let's talk about other factors that can contribute to salaries and increase in pay. So for hospitals, when you think about it, they are 24/7. You have day shifts, you have afternoons, evenings, night shifts, that sort of thing. Usually with these shifts, they provide shift differentials. And if you're someone looking for a typical just 9 to 5 job, hospitals do have that in the X-ray department. You just might have to pick up a weekend here and there, that sort of thing, maybe take some call. But there are plenty of outpatient clinics and ortho clinics and urgent cares that just have a general 9 to 5 if that's all you want to deal with, no holidays, that sort of thing. But the reason I bring up hospitals is one for the shift differentials, as well as hospitals tend to pay more than outpatient clinics. So back to the shift differentials now. So again, on a day shift, that will be your base rate. If you're working an afternoon or evening shift, that usually comes with an incentive. If you're working a night shift, that comes with an incentive. If you're working a weekend, usually comes with an incentive as well. So let's just do a little bit of math here and see what you can potentially make with these shift differentials. So let's stick with the 37 or so an hour to keep it kind of uniform as what the median pay that BLS says. And again, this is for 2023, not even accounting for inflation. But say our base rate is 37 an hour. If we say we're working an afternoon shift, 12 to 8:30, and this hospital that we're working at provides a $3 incentive. So our base rate is 37 an hour, but with that $3 of incentive, now we're making 40 an hour. And this might not sound like much, but it does equate to thousands over the whole year. So let's get back into it, do a little bit of math. So on a full-time 40-hour job, we have 2,080 hours in a year. Let's multiply that 2,080 by 37 an hour, our base rate, and we get an annual income of $76,960. Okay, now let's add the shift differentials to that. So remember, we have a $3 shift incentive on afternoon shift. So now our rate is $40 an hour. So we multiply that 40 by 2,080, and now we get $83,200 a year in annual income. That is a $6,240 of a year difference doing the exact same job as you'd be doing on day shift. So again, you're doing the exact same job as the person that comes in on day shift. You're just coming in a few hours later, but with that incentive, you're making an extra $6,240 a year, which is pretty amazing. And that's just in this basic scenario. So usually if you're working a night shift, you get even a higher incentive. And every hospital has different types of incentives and different types of pay rates and that sort of thing. But just for example, where I am right now, not at my particular hospital, but another hospital that someone works at, they're making an extra $8 an hour to work nights. That's insane. So, yes, it's a night shift. Yes, 99% of people don't want to work night shifts, but an extra $8 an hour is tens of thousands of dollars a year. And that's something really good to think about, that you just have that option. You don't have to do that. But if you were someone coming out of school and you just want to knock out your loans, take a night shift for a year and just boom, you'll make so much money. Me personally, when I came out of school, that was the only shift that was available, was night shift. But I immediately started making the best money I've made coming out of school, and then immediately just had $4 or however much it was at the time incentive, and I just made so much more money so much quicker. And honestly, on night shift, it's usually super chill. People are sleeping, so you're just doing ER and that sort of thing. It was a lot less crazy than the day shift. So I'm just saying you have plenty of options. If night shift is something you never want to do, especially right now, you probably won't ever have to do it because there's such a shortage that you can just walk into kind of whatever shifts you want at a lot of hospitals. But they are there, and they are a great way to really bank money if that's something that's on your mind. But I'm not advocating for night shift forever. It's not great on your circadian rhythm. It can mess up your work-life balance. It's harder to see friends and that sort of thing. So people do it for their whole career, and you can make a ton of money doing it that way. I don't know how they do it. More power to them. But it's just, again, options. You can do it, make some money, or you can stay on the day shift and do your normal thing, or you can go on an evening shift or afternoon shift and make a little incentive there while having the mornings. So it's great to have that kind of flexibility, because even if you're a parent and you need the mornings to get your kids to school, boom, just take an afternoon shift, and one, you're making more incentive, and now you have time to get your kids on the bus and that sort of thing. So again, a lot of flexibility when it comes to a career in radiology, and that is in the hospital settings where you will kind of get those flexible shifts. Also, you can get 3 12-hour shifts, 36 hours a week. I love that. Yes, they can be long days, but having 4 days off is incredible. I am not going to keep rambling. Let's get back to it. So back to the shift differentials. If you are working a weekend, you're going to get incentive there. If you are working overtime, you are going to get paid 1.5 times your rate or something like that. So for example, say you pick up some overtime, and we'll go back to our median rate of $37 an hour. By that time, any overtime, you'd be making $55.50 an hour. That's huge. And that's not even including the incentives if you are working, if you pick up an afternoon or an evening shift. So again, it can add up so quickly. So let's talk about holidays too. So of course, as you know, like I mentioned, hospitals are 24/7. They never sleep. Meaning, if you were working in a hospital, you are probably going to work a holiday at some point in time. And hospitals tend to have really good incentives for holiday shifts because they kind of have to. I mean, most people, of course, want to be home with their families on the holidays. But there are hospitals that pay double time on holidays. So, say you go and pick up a 12-hour shift, double time. You can do the math. That one shift is more than a lot of people make in a whole week. So there are so many incentives and so many ways in a hospital setting as an X-ray tech to really make more money. And another reason I mention these incentives as well is because it is such a great way to kind of get off the ground running and paying back your student loans as a new grad. Me personally, that's all I had in my mind. Once I graduated, I wanted to stop paying these high interest loans. I wanted to knock out these loans as soon as possible. And what did I do? I worked nights. I picked up shifts. I picked up 12-hour shifts on the holidays, and I busted through it. And I paid my loans out within a year and a half. Not saying that you have to do that, but again, you have the option, you have the flexibility to do that. So it's a really great way to get ahead financially if that's something that you want to do. If you want to cross train into CT, you'll see a pay bump there. If you want to cross train into MRI, you'll see a pay bump there. And usually MRI pays a little bit more than CT. If you want to get into something like interventional radiology, that is another pay bump there. And they tend to take a lot of call in that modality. So if you are someone that is totally against call, then interventional radiology is probably not for you. But if you are someone that is okay with call and wants to make more money and really enjoys what an interventional radiologic technologist does, which is pretty incredible work, that is a great way to just make a lot more money during the year, adding those call shifts, because of course you're getting paid while you're on call, And then if you do get called in, you are just getting whatever that rate is, time and a half or so for however many hours. And then if you decide you want to do travel radiology, you can make more than all of those modalities just as an x-ray tech, which is pretty insane. I've done it 6.5 years. It is a very lucrative type job of radiology, but you can make a lot of money, but you have to be very smart about how you go through it. And again, the channel is called the Nomad Rad because I want to start making videos that goes into how to become a travel x-ray tech and do it the right way. Real quick, just getting into x-ray strictly for the money, strictly to become a travel x-ray tech because you see how much they make and how much travel nurses make, is not the right reason to get into radiology. That is the worst possible reason, and you will not enjoy the profession. You will not thrive in this profession. But no, being a travel x-ray tech is amazing in so many more ways than just the pay. The pay is just a byproduct of that. But that is something I'll go into in another video. But again, there are so many different career advancements in x-ray that can make more money. You can also get into management. You can go in other routes. And that, again, is a whole nother video that I make. I have a lot of videos I need to make, it sounds like. But yes, this is a great paying profession, and you can very, very easily make over $100,000 with just a 2-year degree, which is pretty incredible. So to wrap this video up, yes, BLS says $76,000 median average. I would say that's accurate with an asterisk, of course, depending on years of experience, depending on where you live in the country, depending on what modality you're in, those sort of things. So there's a lot to consider. But again, this is a 2-year degree that you can walk out of school and have a job lined up for you. It has so much flexibility to it, so much career advancement with it, and it's a very stable job in healthcare. So I hope this video helped you, and please leave any comments, questions, suggestions down below. I will do my best to get back to you. And with that said, you guys take care. Thanks so much for listening to this whole video and spiel. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.